Alright everybody, welcome back. This is Blazing Angel and I'm here in Kerbal Space Program at the start of a new series. I am just now starting a Let's Play in Kerbal Space Program, and this is obviously episode 1. And so, the way this Let's Play is going to go is I am going to try and run it a little bit like a real space program. I've taken inspiration from various sources, and the first thing you'll notice is that my parts look a little saner, and the reason being is that I'm not using all my mods. I'm just using the stable releases, and stable being a relative word, especially since we're playing an alpha game. But I'm also trying to keep things a little more balanced, and I'm not playing with any of the historical mods, and I'm going to add mods as I theoretically become more advanced in my space program, so I'm kind of going to play this chronologically. But I am playing a couple of mods to start with, and so the mods I'm playing with to start are a couple of mods by Dead Beef, and Dead Beef does really cool things with time warp and the editors and the ability to quick save, and so I'm using those mods there. And I'm also using the Stock Parts Expansion Pack by Claire Lurie. You can see a review of the first version of this mod on my channel, but I'm also updating in this particular playthrough to version 0.21, and that gives me a couple of nifty things that were not in the 0.1 release. And I'm also using some stuff from Fairing Factory, like this right here. Oh dear, my beautiful fairing design does not appear to be quite what I had intended, but I will just launch without it. I may go back and redesign that in a bit. But alright, so there's that, and then underneath that is going to go one of these, and then the first launch vehicle in the Kerbal Space Program history. And the launch vehicle is going to look like, let's see, one of these. Another one of these, and an LVT-45, and then some side-along three will be good. We'll go with this, like that, and some LVT-30s. We'll just go maybe an FLT 200, and on top of that goes that, and we will run a fuel line, and in addition to the fuel line we will add fin, winglet, to give some additional control, and then actually up here I'm going to add in that one. So there we go. This is our first level rocket, launching the equivalent of the Sputnik. And let's see here. Oh dear. Where am I going to attack? I guess the launch clamps are going to go around the outside. I don't like how that looks, but we'll deal with it. Alright, so there's that. Now let's check out staging. And actually I'm going to do away with that. And instead I'm going to go with a linear type staging. Yep, so no RCS, no fancy subsystem control, just good old-fashioned rocketry. And so now we need a name for this, and I think... Let's see, I think the name is going to be... that, Probnik 1. And it's launching aboard some kind of rocket. So let's put this thing to space, shall we? Now, I'm not sure if I really have enough delta V on this thing to make orbit. This might just be a suborbital hop. So we're going to try and manage fuel a little bit carefully. There we go. Accelerating away from the launch tower. Kermanity's first attempt at a space launch is going well so far. It didn't blow up on the launch pad, which happened to a lot of NASA's rockets in the early days. And we're gonna kind of manage the throttle so that we aren't really accelerating too quickly, because we don't want to lose any velocity to the atmosphere. The delta V requirements on this are going to be skim. We're going to aim for a 71-kilometer orbit. 71 kilometers, I think, is a decent target. So we're going to burn up slowly as we try and gain some altitude quickly here, and these are not going to last me quite as long as I'd hoped. We may have to add another fuel tank there and make these double-length ones, but we'll see where we go. We'll see where we go. We may be able to go decently far with this. So let's see. We're just passing 100 meters a second as we get ready to clear 5 kilometers in the air. The gravity turn is going to start at about 13 kilometers, I think. We'll start it a little higher up because we aren't going to have quite as much thrust on this second stage. Alright. Get ready to pass 7 kilometers here. Alright, now, so on the topic of engines, I just recently saw something very interesting in the news, space-related. Space-related news-wise, there was a person by the name of Robert Schweier. And Robert Schweier is a British physicist who, in 2001, came up with an idea for a propellantless rocket motor. And propellantless being a very dangerous word to use in the field of rocketry, because all rockets generally tend to operate on the principle of Newton's third law, which says every action has an equal and opposite reaction, which means you need to expel mass to gain acceleration, the law of conservation of momentum. However, based upon his research and thoughts, Robert Schweier thought that he could develop an engine that used microwave expansion to create a net thrust, and therefore use nothing but electricity. And he was, quite frankly, laughed at in the scientific community, but continued his research, and a Chinese scientist by the name of Yang Wan got a hold of this research and obtained some funds to begin researching it in China, and has developed a working model of this engine. And this engine requires nothing but electricity and outputs 72 grams of thrust per megawatt of electricity, which is actually slightly incredible because it also weighs less than ion drives, and it is absolutely propellantless, which means that with nothing but electricity you can generate thrust. And he's called it the M drive. And so the way it works, I've sort of already hinted at this, is through microwaves. It's a roughly conical shaped container made of metal, in which there are microwaves. And somehow, based on how the microwaves expand, the the expansion is higher at one end and lower at another. Not 100% sure how it works, but it proves that it works, the latest test design. So now they're rebuilding the metal shell out of a superconductor to increase the increase some conductivity of it somehow in some way, which will improve the ability of this engine to generate thrust. But I just want to now that I've been talking about that, it's very revolutionary to have something absolutely no propellant, no anything, just electricity, which means that truly, if humanity wants to go to the stars, this is going to be the first way to do it. Because instead of having to loft a couple hundred tons of fuel to even approach velocities which would make it possible to do travel on any large scale in space, you just have to worry about this very, very minimal ability to generate power. If you had a nuclear reactor or an RTG or even a large solar array, you could accelerate to very, very large velocities using this type of engine. So the M drive, watch it, look it up on Google, fascinating thing, and so I'm really interested on seeing where that goes as Probnik approaches space. Alright, so Probnik is in space, so we will lose the launch stage and deploy the radio antenna so that all Kerbal-nauts on the planet who have their own radio while they're practicing to become the first Kerbal-naut in space can listen to the telltale beeps of Probnik in space and know that they truly are now a spacefaring planet as their first probe has obtained orbit. So here's Probnik in space. It has enough charge to last for a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks, and so we will know how Probnik goes, maybe even visit it on a future mission. So thank you all for watching the first LP in this Kerbal Space Program run-through. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will hopefully be doing more of these on the rate of about one a week, so if you want to watch more of these, you can follow me on YouTube. I will also continue doing Bobcat videos. I hope to do a video on the Mark IV because I didn't get a chance to cover it in the live stream. And I also hope to continue doing mod reviews for other mods that I play with. And so you guys can watch those if you want to know what some fun mods to play with are. So I will catch you guys later.